Hi, everyone. Thanks for clicking in and listening to the Sustainable Cannabis Coalition podcast. As you know by now, our podcasts are a series of roundtable discussions with industry luminaries discussing trends and sustainable practices within the fast-growing cannabis industry. I'm your host, Dana Hillman, and today we'll be talking with Trulieve. If you don't know who Trulieve is, you should. They're one of the nation's most talked about licensed producers, and they operate approximately 1.9 million square feet of cannabis cultivation space across Florida, with Massachusetts coming online soon. They're also a founding member of the SCC. Their sustainable practices are pervasive, meaning they look at every aspect of their operation in terms of sustainability as a leading business consideration. Today we'll get to hear about that from Kyle Landrum, their Chief Production Officer, Brad Stutzman, their Director of Environment, Health and Safety, and Ben Fish, Environment, Health and Safety Specialist. Just a teaser. This was really cool for me. I learned that nothing is off limits when it comes to improving their processes, even to the point of being compared to FedEx. Yeah, you heard me, FedEx. Listen why. Gentlemen, thanks for taking the time to share your thoughts on sustainability, especially from the perspective of a large vertically integrated producer. So really, thanks for being here today,
Hey,
guys.
well, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
It's definitely our pleasure. So for those listeners who aren't familiar with Trulieve, they're one of the nation's largest multi-state operators, actually the largest in Florida, and are expanding their operations throughout the nation. So as always, we like to provide a little bit of context for our listeners. So gentlemen, I know none of you started your career in cannabis, but if we could go around our virtual table quickly with each of you sharing a bit of your background and how you found your way into the space, that would really be great. So Kyle, we'll start with you, then Ben, and then Brad. So Kyle, take it away.
Yeah, appreciate that, Dana. As Dana said, my name's Kyle Landrum, the Chief Production Officer for Trulieve. And I kind of found my way into the space, via a little bit connections. That's because it was associated with where I went to school in my graduate advisor. So I went to school in Florida. Got a.
I think there's one school.
No, there's like 5. But yeah, so I went to school in Florida. Both my degrees are from the agricultural college. So I kind of came from a multi-site restaurant operation background, which is strong passion and leadership and process improvement, and obviously working with perishable goods. And I got a call one day that really was looking to scale their operations and needed someone with that ability to manage large groups in multiple different areas and dynamic changing environments. And so that's exactly right up my alley. And talked to a few of the founders, or actually all of the founders. Really hit it off with them. Great group of folks, and that was 3.5 years ago, and it's been a blink of an eye and a tremendous ride. So.
Wow, that's very cool. Thanks. Really appreciate it, Kyle. Ben,
Yeah,
yourself?
well, thank you for having me, Dana. And my reason for getting in this industry was really about 2 decades ago. My brother, when he graduated from UCLA, he was introduced into NORML, which is the National Organization for Reform Marijuana Laws. So this industry has always been interconnected with my family and my brother. And for the past, 10 years and seeing it expand over in California, this has grown into an interest that's become a passion. And me being a scientist, ever since, I've always wanted to be a part of this industry and help reduce its overall impact on the environment. And well, now you can say it's in the family.
That is really, really cool. What was your educational background?
I am a geoscientist. I got degrees from a university in Florida as well, too. 2 degrees. It's not the one that Kyle went to. It's another university. But it's definitely a local Florida-grown boy that loves all about this industry and the new technologies that are coming available to us.
That's great. I really appreciate you being here, Brad, or
Thank
Ben,
you.
rather. Brad, yourself?
Yeah. Thanks, Dana. My name is Brad Stutzman. I'm the Director of Environmental Health and Safety. Actually, I was in, pharmaceuticals and food and beverage prior to joining the cannabis industry. Actually, I kind of researched the benefits. I knew there was going to be huge growth whenever I decided to take the leap forward. But after I had came and interviewed with the passionate leadership team here at Trulieve, and then watched several videos of Kim Rivers, our CEO, on YouTube, it just kind of felt like it was the right fit for me. Actually, I've been with the company 2.5 years, and I was employee number 552, and I think we're over 5,500 team members now, and still growing. So it's been an interesting journey for me, especially because I grew up in the wholesale foliage industry in the Orlando area, so it's kind of full circle with growing, cultivation, food processing, pharmaceuticals. It's all kind of wrapped up in one piece. Have a bachelor's of science from the Georgia Southwestern, and several certifications through Georgia Tech and University of North Florida.
Wow, that's really great, Brad. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. So I have to admit, I've been really fortunate to see your Florida facilities up close and personal, and to say that they're impressive is a bit of an understatement. So one of the things that did strike me is that you all have gone to really great lengths to standardize your cultivation facility design, as well as your systems that you put in there. Additionally, between your grow and your facilities groups, you also have really well-defined SOPs and run a really tight ship. So when we talk about sustainability, in this case, meaning to produce more reliably at scale, when it comes to just energy and water, it certainly appears that sustainability is more than just lip service with you all. So Kyle, I know that's important to you in Trulieve. So maybe you can share your thoughts and Trulieve as a whole on water and energy consumption. I'll shut up, by the way.
Yeah, no worries. Well, I think we've only got a short amount of time, but I can kind of touch on the high pieces. But no, you're exactly right. I mean, energy and water is a huge piece of what we do and what makes Trulieve. So it's very important to us. As you know, we recently joined the Sustainable Cannabis Coalition, and then also internally, we've created environmental sustainability and governance as well. So, that work's been in part and parcel, not just myself or Brad or Ben, but really a company-wide initiative where we've, created a charter, and we're working towards, developing. Obviously, there's key KPIs around energy and water and other sustainable goals and objectives. So, yeah, extremely important. But a few of the things that we can do is just incorporate energy efficient technologies inside the cultivation and processing, and even the retail centers. To kind of do our part in reducing the overall energy consumption throughout the system. Brad mentioned we've got around 5,500 employees, so it's we have a huge
that's a lot.
no doubt. And we've got a huge opportunity. And there are voices, to even do things as if you're not in the room, turn the light off, or coach that to amongst your teams. So, obviously not on the plants, but in common areas and whatnot.
I was about to say I've seen that they are tight.
Yeah, and using smart controls and different automation inside the facilities to really kind of drive that home, and we've made the investment to do so, but. Also, I'd say another strategy is to help get us there quicker, or to our goals and objectives quicker, is using third-party consultants to come in and really help us identify areas in which that we can deploy new technology, or even operational controls or practices really that are top notch in the cannabis space. And I'd say that we're never really content on where we are. So, we're a continuous improvement organization, and we take that all the way down to the impact that we have on the environment. We want it to be zero or additive.
That's really interesting because I do know firsthand that with your team, you're not known for sitting still. So, and there's really no sacred cows to speak of, and you are continually making improvements. And with energy, I know that that's true, and you guys are pushing the boundaries. So, maybe Ben, can you share a few examples of what you're doing regarding energy without, obviously, I don't want you to give away any trade secrets, but any
Yeah, no,
thoughts
I
on that?
appreciate it. Yeah, I think our two big points of energy consumption within the cultivation, I'd say would be mostly our lighting and our HVACs. As you may know, most of our sites are
Yeah.
indoor and are temperature control grow operations. And we've currently been
Hmm.
integrating the use of LED lighting systems as we expand into the new states. And these facilities, they obviously need to be well lit. So it is critical to have the energy efficient lighting properly installed. Incorporating the use of CFLs, LED technologies has also helped the business use less energy overall, I say.
It is very heartening to see that some of the LED technologies have really come a long way. So I know that definitely will impact your energy bill just from a lighting
Yeah, and
perspective
then
for
the
sure.
other thing, HVAC design. And our HVAC design has many
Mm,
variables, and that dictates how efficient the HVAC system performs. There's things such as the system design, the method of operation, and the ongoing maintenance. Well, we do have a good preventive maintenance
yeah,
program that ensures the lighting and the HVAC systems are operating at optimum capacity to remain energy efficient at all times.
well, that's very cool. Yeah, and I've seen your
Hmm.
facilities crew. They're on site taking care of everything all day, all the time. So
Yeah, it's
that's
definitely
impressive.
pretty cool. And we've also utilized the automated lighting systems that can make adjustments to ensure, the power consumption is regulated to prevent unintentional use as well too.
Energy is a big factor, but let's face it, water's big too in cannabis and any cultivation operation, and also a key issue when you're trying to run a more sustainable operation. So maybe I'll lob this one to Ben and Brad. I mean, can you give us an idea where your efforts have been focused in reducing water consumption in the
Yeah, sure,
cultivation
Dana.
facilities?
Ideally, I mean, we really focus on incorporating advanced irrigation systems to allow for precise metering.
Mm,
That way, we can reduce the consumption rate. Of course, the most efficient
yep.
irrigation systems are able to distribute the water in very precise points. That means in proximity to the plant, near the soil, or directly into it. And this way,
Right.
there is a savings of time in terms of water exposition to the air and water flowing from the pipe to the roots. Ben, you want to just touch base
Yeah,
on, say, the growing medias?
definitely. And by utilizing the grow medias that we have, we use a rock wool, which is soil less growth mediums. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I was
Yeah, they're
curious about that.
hydroponic
Cool.
cultivation methods which enable a plant's roots to be placed in contact and with nutrient solutions in growth mediums. This which transmits the water more efficiently, and these methods also nourish the plant in a more direct manner, resulting in significantly less water being used and wasted. The absorption then is direct transmission to soil medium. So this is kind of a layered again in a preventive maintenance program to ensure the irrigation leaks are eliminated.
Yeah, now I know you also have a method, or at least I had heard you have a method for reclaiming natural water, like rainwater, things like that. Maybe talk
Yeah,
about a
we
little bit
also
about that.
utilize water purification technologies for the reclaimed rainwater that we do collect on site. And overall, the water consumption is definitely reduced when we're keeping and using the same water on site.
So I know that sustainable water and energy practices within cultivation is a priority, but that really, I think for you all, that extends beyond just the grow facility. And I think processing facilities are one of the major factors that at least should be considered. Maybe most don't. But Brad, maybe you can give us your take on the processing and the energy use. I mean, is that
Yeah,
something you're
it sure
focused
is,
on as
Dana.
well?
Actually, like the cultivation, heating and cooling systems are a top priority for us. But also in the processing side, it's all about the
Hmm.
equipment utilization. Ultimately, we got to keep our sites climate controlled. But like when we talk about the sheer amounts of equipment that we have on site, that produce all the
Yeah.
different types of products that you see at our retail locations. Part of that's going to be like pneumatics. Air leaks is a major source of wasted energy. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, you can actually lose 20 to 30% loss of a compressor's output if, just by small air leaks. Believe it or not, and it reduces the effectiveness of our equipment. Then we're also upgrading equipment, monitoring the working condition, along with the PM systems, to make sure that they're operating at optimal output. One of the other things that Kyle alluded to earlier, just our continuous improvement. So when we talk about that, we use Lean Six Sigma methodologies, right, to reduce waste and prevent variations within our processes. So the more efficient we are while we're using the equipment, it's going to be a savings for us on the sustainability front too.
Yeah, I got to tell you, that's really interesting that your processes are that granular, where you're looking at even the pneumatic pumps. I've been in this space for a long time. I've never heard that. So that's cool.
Yeah,
to hear.
there's a lot of little things like Kyle mentioned earlier, just shutting equipment off, shutting lights off. The little things can add up, in a big way, believe it or not.
Yeah, especially when you have a operation that's the scale that you have. So, I mean, and that kind of leads me to this other thought. I mean, I know that for many MSOs, even though they may have an eye on sustainability, cultivation and to a lesser extent, processing facilities tend to get the bulk of their attention. But for you all, you're a little different because sustainability for you guys doesn't really stop at the back door of the facility. It's a mindset that extends beyond that. So, Kyle, I know you of all people are a pretty data-driven human. So I'm curious if there's any other methods that you've come up with to reduce, energy and water consumption.
Yeah, for sure, Dana. One example that kind of comes to mind is the supply chain department, which is managed under the manufacturing. What we do is we use specific routing software for our tier 1 and 2 logistics, the fleet. And what it does is it.
So I was about to say, is this like what some of the major package delivery services use?
Oh, absolutely.
UPS, things like that.
All the time that we'll even hear Kim say that we run a FedEx or a UPS or a postal service on daily. So between tier 1 and tier 2, we've got trucks, cars, and teams, all of the states that we operate in every day. So it's been important to kind of, optimize the transportation routes. We can do certain things like monitor idle times with units and our patients, be able to track that kind of meticulously, and then size our fleet to what we're delivering. So, for example, we won't have a 26-foot box truck moving, 2 pallets of material between plants. It's obviously the larger the truck, more typically the more fuel inefficient it is. So that's something that we can definitely control, and with the help of software and really planning. Ultimately, it reduces fuel and energy burn. So that's just one that I can think of offhand.
Well, no, and that's really cool because that's not only is that better for the environment as a whole, but it sounds like it's better for your bottom line and certainly better for your customers too. Being able to look at the stores and places where you've got mass traction there. Yeah. So that's absolutely fascinating, Carl. Thanks. Well, gentlemen, this is a good stepping off point, even though, quite frankly, I would love to pick your brains even more. But I know that you have a lot going on these days, and a lot of the things that you have going on, you can't quite talk about just yet. So I'm not gonna bait you into doing that. But it's always enlightening, to say the least, to speak with execs at a large MSO and getting your take on sustainability from a producer's perspective. So with that said, best of luck with the new facilities that you'll be rolling out. And thanks again for your time.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, we really appreciate it too. Thank you, Dana.
Thanks, Dana.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this week's Sustainable Cannabis Coalition podcast with Trulieve, one of the nation's largest licensed cannabis producers. As you know, cannabis is a thing, and so is sustainability. So be sure to check out our previous guest and drop in next week for more. I'm your host, Dana Hillman. Bye for now.